Hi guys, it's ASMR October. I am once again trying soft spoken. I'm trying it on the Blue Yeti this time, so hopefully, it still sounds good. Last time it was lo-fi, so it was a little easier, I think. Not to muffle it, but I don't know, I just get paranoid because the Blue Yeti really picks up everything, and you probably hear this woodwick candle in the background. It's very loud, but hopefully you find it relaxing. Once again, my hair is wet. I just got out of the shower. I am honestly just very lazy. Sometimes at night, I used to have this feeling that I had to do my hair every time I did a video, and I'd be super paranoid if my hair wasn't done. And now I'm like, bruh, we're all friends here. At least you know I shower. Right? So, anyway, I'm recording a few videos tonight because I'm going to be puppy sitting for my friend who, she lives in Maryland, and, she is going through some stuff, and she's moving into a new apartment, and I am watching her dog. He's very cute. His name is Milo. I don't know if I can record with him though here. It's not like my sister's dog. My sister's dog is very chill and doesn't want to be bothered. Milo is still a puppy. He's 8 months old, so he's very rambunctious. He does settle down, but he's very curious. So if I set up the mic and we're sitting on the floor, I feel like he would be up in my space, potentially chewing on something. So unsure if that's gonna happen or not. We'll see. Regardless, I wanted to have videos covered for those. It's 2 full weekends that we're watching him. We're getting him tomorrow, which is a Saturday, and I believe she's picking him up the following Tuesday. So not this coming Tuesday into next week, but the week after. This isn't even relevant because when this goes up, he might not even be here anymore. But regardless, that was a really long-winded introduction that wasn't really necessary, but anyway, so I'm wearing a shirt, by the way, from the show and Juliet, the Broadway show. Jesse and I went to see it a month ago. We saw it in June, so actually by the time this goes up it'll be 2 months ago. It was good. It was fine. I wouldn't say it was the best show I ever saw, but the music was good because it's all modern music, and the story was cute. I thought the ending was kind of stupid, but to each his own. Anyway, I don't know. I'm going around in circles. That's not the point of this video, obviously, if you saw the title. I haven't done one of these Reddit reading story videos in a long time, so I don't know. I remember during the when I asked you guys a while back for suggestions of storytime videos, a lot of people had asked for paranormal experiences and stuff, and I haven't really had any of those, but I know a really popular Reddit thread is the no sleep thread, so I figured to kind of cater to those folks who are probably damn, Sam forgot all about us. I didn't. I'm finally getting around to that request. I mean, it's not my stories, but it's still creepy stories that will probably creep me out, and then I could say they're my stories because I'm secondhand freaked out. I love the new iPhone update because Jesse's FaceTiming me right now, and sorry, I just ignored it. he's at work right now, and I just got, he keeps FaceTiming me. He's like not getting it that I'm filming. I'm just not gonna answer because I don't have to edit this. One of his coworkers sent me a snap, so I'm sure he's like doing something silly, and now he's FaceTiming me. So I'm just gonna ignore it. Sorry, Jesse. Anyway, so let's take a look. I have not like previewed these. I figured like let's just see what speaks to us. I don't know if anything's gonna speak to us, but I'm kind of going by the titles and like whatever stands out, you know, we'll go. So the first one, I already clicked on it. It says, I adopted a dog from the shelter, but I'm starting to think he isn't a dog at all. That's very relevant, considering we're getting my friend's dog, but we've had him many times. He's without a doubt a dog. Oh my god. Okay, in the first sentence, it says Buster, Ace, Milo. Like, literally Milo's in the sentence. Alright, it was meant to be. I was supposed to read this one. Buster, Ace, Milo. My fiance Victor continued to list potential names for the new addition to our family. I wanted a baby, but he said not yet, so we settled on getting another dog. We already had 3. My Welsh Terriers, Goldie and Teddy, and his mini poodle, Fifi. That is a very mini poodle name. But what harm could one more do? We'd both had our other dogs since they were puppies and had planned on doing the same for the next one until a friend recommended rescuing an older dog. After looking into it, we found... Oh my god, Jesse's FaceTiming me again. What the fuck? Alright, I'm not answering. After looking into it, we found an older pup named Joey. He was a 1-year-old English Mastiff mix, a mutt unlike our other dogs, but he had those same captivating brown eyes. His previous owners gave him up because they hadn't expected him to get so big, but we didn't care about that. We felt that he belonged with us, no matter his size. After all, he was clearly a gentle giant. Upon meeting him, I realized just how big he really was, but Victor seemed to have fallen in love already, so I didn't comment. Joey was playful, but chill, and I knew my reservations would leave in no time. I mean, how could I look into those big blue eyes and not love him? I thought to myself, wait a second, blue? I could have sworn his eyes were brown a moment ago. That's weird. Right as I read that, I was like, what the fuck, blue eyes? When we brought him home, Goldie and Teddy didn't take much notice, while Fifi growled and hid behind the couch. Okay, guys, Jesse's legit calling me again. I really don't want to have to edit this video. Alright, I'm just gonna read this and then... Oh, alright, fuck. Alright, guys, I'm so annoyed with Jesse. He literally called to do that stupid trend where like you call someone and then you're like, yo, I'm busy, what's up? Like to pretend like, oh, can I call you back? Like even though they called you, like, you know, it's stupid frickin' thing. I was so mad because I was like, so you'll see obviously at this point in the video that he like FaceTimed me like 4 times in a row, and then he called me twice, and I was like, alright, like, I don't know, like, if something's happening, then he's, like, trying to show me or tell me, because that's, like, very unusual. Like, he doesn't, 1, we don't really talk, like, after his break until he comes home, and 2, like, if he calls me and I don't answer, then, like, that's it, it's done, like, he doesn't keep calling, and then, like, if he calls me and I don't answer, like, sometimes he'll send a text, like, if I'm in the shower, or, like, I took a nap, or, like, whatever. But he didn't do that. He just kept calling. So I'm thinking, like, maybe something, like, really crazy is happening. Maybe, like, a family member is in the hospital. Like, I don't know. So he's, like, calling. And, like, I really didn't want to have to edit this video. So I'm like, oh, God. But then, like, the second phone call, I'm like, alright, I should answer. Guys, I freaking answer. And I'm like, what? Like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I'm busy, what's up? And I was like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm so mad at you right now. And I'm like, and he's like laughing. And I'm like, no, it's not funny. Like, I was filming and I didn't want to edit. And like, you kept calling and I thought something was wrong. Like, I'm really pissed off. Like, this is so stupid. Like, I can't believe you right now. And he's like, I'm sorry, you should have texted me. I'm like, how would I text you if I'm filming? How would I do that? I film on my phone. How would I text you? Sorry, I'm like, goodbye. And I was like, hung up the phone. Like, that pisses me off. Like, he should know better. And I told him before, when I talked to him on his break, that I was gonna, after I cleaned and I showered, I was gonna film videos. I told him, so it's not even like, it's not like I am like out partying. I'm literally sitting on my living room floor trying to film. Anyway, freaking Jesse. Anyway, so now he just keeps texting me. He's like, sorry, I thought you were in the shower. I'm sorry. But I'm still not gonna answer because I'm filming. It's like, anyway, moving on. So we're back to this dog with the blue eyes. That's like very freaky. So very strange. This dog has blue eyes. Anyway, so when we brought him home, Goldie and Teddy didn't take much notice, while Fifi growled and hid behind the couch. Joey didn't get aggressive back. He simply looked at me in confusion. So I hoped that in time they would get along better. Not much changed in most aspects of our life. Fifi didn't seem to be liking him anymore, but I knew to give it time. Also, poodles are like evil. My sister's dog is a poodle, and like they're like little old ladies. Like, if they don't like you, they don't like you. So I could see why like they wouldn't pay a lot of attention to that. She wasn't exactly struck on the other two when Victor and I first moved in together. On my other two when Victor and I first moved in together, and now they cuddle and play all the time. Still, it seemed that her fears were getting worse. I'd wake up in the night to find her in the strangest hiding places, shaking and whimpering, but unharmed. Joey was always nearby, just looking around perplexed by the situation. One time, I could have sworn I saw him bare his teeth at her in the mirror when my back was turned, but only for a split second, as if he didn't want me to see. I became a little more on edge around him, keeping him in the kitchen during nights while the other dogs stayed in the bedroom. He didn't seem to be bothered by this arrangement, and Victor said I was being paranoid, but not long after all our food started going bad, it was as... Sorry, I read that sentence wrong. So he didn't seem to be bothered by this arrangement, the dog, and Victor said that I was being paranoid, but not long after all of our food started going bad, it was as if somebody had taken all of the refrigerated items out for the night, even eaten some, and then put it back in before we woke up. As I held rotten food in my hands and looked into his eyes, I knew something was wrong with that dog, and I felt he was challenging me. I put a kennel in the backyard and kept him overnight instead. Then dead animals started showing up all over the grass, their organs completely missing. When I so much as raised my voice at him for committing such a heinous act, he snarled at me. He was showing more and more aggression, not just to me, but to our other 3 dogs, especially Fifi. When I mentioned to Victor when I was worried Joey was going to hurt her, he got mad. How could you say such a sweet, gentle dog would ever do that? And to Fifi? You know how much she means to me. Fifi and another dog belonged to his sister, but his sister and the other dog passed in a car accident a couple weeks before we met. I didn't want to upset him further, so I dropped it. That was until I woke up to whimpers. No, screams in the middle of the night and ran downstairs to see Joey in the living room tearing Fifi to shreds. There were insides everywhere, and I don't think I'll ever get the image of the blood smudged around his mouth out of my mind. I have never cried out for help so loudly. Victor came running and instinctively turned the lights on to see pieces of a stuffed toy strewn around the room. He then proceeded to berate me for my behavior. Seriously, Rachel, what the fuck has been up with you lately? Why are you so out to get this innocent dog? All the while, Joey's eyes bored into me, looking more sinister and soulless than ever. I'd had enough of the mind games. The final straw was 3 nights ago. I woke up to a figure looming over me in the darkness. It was grotesque. Its limbs looked out of place, and every part of it looked disproportionate and broken. At first I wanted to scream, but I didn't. His eyes met mine, and immediately I knew what it was. Joey, out of his disguise. I turned to Victor and shook him awake as fast as I could, but by the time he turned over, Joey was a dog again, sitting beside the bed. Victor just looked at me, shook his head in disapproval, and went back to sleep. I sent Joey out of the room and did the same. The next morning, I was surprised with a weekend getaway. We hastily packed our bags and Victor solemnly said goodbye to Joey as the place only allowed small dogs. A friend would be coming over later to pick up Joey to stay with him while we were away. I didn't tell Victor, but I was relieved. For the first time in the past month, I felt that me and my babies were safe. We hopped into the car and headed toward our destination. Once we were a good 50 miles away from home, Victor said to me, "You know, last night, right before you woke me up," dreading the argument that was sure to come. I nodded, and he continued, "Well, I saw it too. Anthony's not picking Joey up. An animal rescue is. I told them he was aggressive and uncontrollable. They're going to put him down. I'm sorry I didn't believe you. We're currently at my parents' house until we feel comfortable back at ours, if we ever do. Still, I'm not so sure this is the end." Oh my god. So everyone is in the comments basically talking about skinwalkers. So like, I don't know if you guys have seen, like, I know on TikTok and like Facebook, whatever, there's like a lot of reels about skinwalkers. I don't like know a lot about them, but from what I do know, they're like these creatures that like take on like human or animal bodies, figures, whatever, and then like they can emulate like human sounds, animal sounds, but then like they're not those things. That's fucking crazy. That's very scary. Okay, well, now everybody's nice and creeped out, but also like poor rescue dogs getting a bad name. Okay. I'm just like reading like the titles. I'm just trying to like skim. I want to read one other one. I feel bad. This video was like supposed to be like me reading these creepy stories, and then freaking Jesse just like threw off the whole damn video, but that's okay. There was one I saw the other day, something about phones. I'm trying to see. Has anyone like watched any, like while I'm looking for this stuff, has anyone like watched any of the stuff about Skinwalkers? Like, isn't that shit fucking crazy? Does anyone know like more about that? Alright, let's do this one. Alright. Anyway, I'm very curious if you know anything or have any information to share about Skinwalkers to freak us all out. Comment down below. Okay, so the next one is It's Still Watching Me. I never thought I would post here, but I'm at my wit's end and I don't know what else to do. I'm not sure if I'm looking for advice or just want somebody or anybody to believe me, but I really appreciate it if you would just listen. I suppose I should start at the beginning, almost 3 years ago. I live in a little rundown town called Sycamore Hill, which is in Nebraska. You probably haven't heard of it, and if you have, it's for the same story I'm about to tell you. You see, at the very edge of the town, on the east side, is a maximum security penitentiary. That's where they keep the worst of the worst. The serial killers, the rapists, the mass shooters, child molesters, and those bastards you see on America's Most Wanted. I even think they kept Ted Bundy in there at one point. This place has been here since the 1970s, up until 3 years ago, it boasted the record for having no escapees. As you can probably guess, that's no longer the case. Long story short, they had this one guy in here simply named the Executor. This guy apparently killed 21 people over a 5-year period, and in such brutal ways that the police refused to give any details or pictures to the media. Everyone had basically forgotten about him since he was locked in permanent solitary confinement until this teenage boy went to visit a different inmate in the penitentiary. Oh my god, why can't I read? I think he was related to them or something. No one really knows or understands what happened next. They had a whole congressional hearing and still couldn't figure it out. I originally chalked it up to pride and incompetence, but considering everything that has happened since then, I'm assuming it had to be something supernatural. Either way, what everyone does know is that somehow that poor kid ended up trapped in a cell with the executor, who proceeded to kill him. He beat him to death apparently, and then the bastard somehow managed to escape. What? It was pandemonium for weeks after that. The entire town was basically placed on lockdown. Nobody left their houses, entire businesses just shut down, and everyone was on edge. I actually had the police called on me half a dozen times. Apparently I looked a lot like the escapee. Something about us having the same eyes. Anyway, they finally killed the fucker, shot him to death in a police standoff, but things never really went back to normal. The family of the teenager, Tom, sued the prison for wrongful death, apparently won millions from the whole thing. Still feel pretty bad for them. Money can't replace a person, after all. The town's now infamous for letting a serial killer kill a kid, escape, and run around for weeks before catching him. There's a whole lot of urban legends and stuff surrounding that incident. Some say the executor is still out there, that the police shot the wrong guy. Others say that Tom's spirit still roams the town, and that if you know where to look, you could see his ghost wandering the streets. Normally I would chalk those stories up to tall tales, but this time I can't, because Tom's ghost is staring at me right as I type this out. I can feel his eyes boring into the back of my head. I'm writing this on my couch while it's standing in the corner. I don't even know how to describe this thing because it doesn't look like ghosts you see in movies or video games. It's not translucent. This thing is very much solid. At least I think it is. I've never been able to touch it. It almost looks like your average teenager, tall with short blonde hair, who's wearing a nice white hoodie, khaki pants, and red and white tennis shoes. Unless you realize it's covered in blood and its face is the stuff of nightmares. Until you realize. Oh god, its face. To put it simply, it's like someone dropped a bucket of tar on its face. You can't make anything out. No mouth, no nose, no freckles or features, just a pitch black surface. The only thing you could see is its left eye. It's huge, much bigger than a regular human eye, and it never blinks. Just a cold blue stare. As for the rest of it, what little skin you can see is either covered in blood, splotchy with bruises and cuts, or both. It's horrifying, to say the least. This thing doesn't walk or move normally either. It just hovers a few inches off the ground, never taking its eyes off of me. It's been following me for years, and the only time it leaves me alone is when I use the bathroom. When it first showed up, naturally I freaked out. I was screaming, cursing, throwing plates and stuff at it. I guess the neighbors heard the commotion because the police were called. Thankfully, the officer was an old friend of mine named George, otherwise I probably would have been carted off to the madhouse. Ever since then, it's followed me everywhere. The only time I ever managed to get away was when I left town to go on a 2-week vacation. I was so relieved. I thought I'd finally escaped, and then I got a call from my mother weekend. My grandfather had apparently fallen terribly ill, and of course, guess what was waiting for me when I got back? The pattern repeated. Every time I leave town, an emergency will pop up and force me to come back. And before you suggest some kind of ritual or exorcism, I've already tried that. First, I tried going to my local church where the priest attempted some kind of exorcism involving a cross, a Bible, and a bowl of holy water. But the cross exploded. The Bible caught fire, and the holy water turned into some kind of black sludge. The poor priest basically shoved me out of the door. The next week, I found out I was banned from the church. Go figure. Next, I tried the ghost hunter that my friend Nick had recommended. The guy seemed promising enough and almost immediately agreed to check out my house. When he got there, for some reason, he insisted on checking out the attic. I probably should have noticed that Tom was nowhere to be found, because not 3 minutes later, I heard an unholy scream and watched the ghost hunter sprint out of my house, cursing like a sailor. I'm still not sure what happened there, but apparently the poor guy ended up committing suicide 2 weeks afterwards. I really don't know what to do. No one else seems to be able to see this thing, and I'm about to lose my fucking mind. I can't stand it. I need it to go away. Should I tell Tom's family what's going on? Would they even believe me? If anyone has advice, please help. If it's still staring at me. God help us all. So someone was like, did you check the attic? Where's his body? Maybe he thinks you look like the killer too. Did you try communicating? So then the person responded, I've tried repeatedly to talk to him, but he never really seems to react. There's only been 2 times where that changed. The first one, I got really mad and told him his outfit was ugly. For the next week, he wore a bloody fluorescent orange jumpsuit. I swear it hates me. The second was when I tried to tell him that I wasn't the man who killed him. He didn't respond, but the next day, the word liar was carved into my headboard. As for the attic, I don't know why things went to shit up there. Nothing ever happened, and I don't think Tom will get violent with me. I can't touch him, and he's never touched me, so maybe he's not able to. exorcism, like someone else suggested an exorcism, and then someone else suggested a paranormal investigator, but he said he didn't want to get, like, he didn't want something to happen to someone else that happened to that other guy. I don't know. I mean, if this is real, it's very creepy. But, like, the whole thing about, like, the headboard, like, in the comments, like, wouldn't you mention that in your story? I don't know. If it's real, it's creepy as shit, but, like, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it's legit? If you hear my stomach, by the way, I'm really sorry. It's got a mind of its own. I'm trying to see if there's like a short one. Oh god, this one's really long. Does anyone else have a story that they would like to share? I would love to hear, like, if anyone else has stories. Oh my god, these are so long. Or maybe I'm just like... Alright, this one's good. I'll read this one. Alright, one more. The customers won't stop drinking milk. It was just another day in your average small town. My food supply was getting low in my apartment, so I had to go out to the store. I went to my local Save-A-Lot, and right off the bat, I saw a poster about a new product. It was a picture of a cartoonish-looking man wearing a white store outfit holding a jug of milk. The sign said, "Try out our new miracle milk. With lower prices than regular milk, it's a steal." I just scoffed and went into the store. I really hate advertisements. What the freaking drag racer? Anyway, I went in and grabbed a few things and then went back to the dairy aisle. Went to the back of the dairy aisle. My face quickly turned into a frown. Instead of the milk I normally get, sitting there was a whole row of this new miracle milk. Fuck, I said to myself, getting ready to head to the front. Suddenly, an old woman was just standing there for a few minutes and got a jug. I thought of nothing of it and went past her. Suddenly, I hear the lid of the jug plopping on the floor and big gulps coming from her. Gulp, gulp, gulp. The old woman drank that gallon in only a couple of minutes and threw the jug down. My shocked expression couldn't go any further when she grabbed another jug and started drinking it. "Hey," Dan, the manager of the store, yelled at her a few feet away from me. "What the hell do you think you're doing? You know you're gonna have to pay for that." His words were just flying away from the old woman, who just sat there reaching for a third jug. As Dan walked up to her to grab her shoulder, suddenly a couple of the onlookers started grabbing gallons of milk. "Stop it," Dan yelled, not reaching anybody. Someone brushed past me, almost knocking me down, and started drinking. "What's your problem?" I yelled at the guy, but he didn't even pay attention to me as he was fighting for a jug another store-goer got. I watched in fear as the guy that brushed past me yanks the jug out of the woman's hands and hit her across the head. Dan screamed as the woman fell to the floor, as if the jug of milk was a piece of wood. I was about to leave my stuff there and run when my face looked towards the old woman who started it all. My heart sunk as her skin was mostly hollow. Her fat was dragging across the floor as milk was dripping from all over her. She was starting on her 10th jug. I screamed and ran towards the front of the store. As more of the customers started to drink and turn hollow, I ran through the parking lot and got into my car and drove fast to my apartment. I was scared shitless and didn't know what to do. I just showered and went to bed, hoping my nerves would calm down. I was having a bad dream. The next day, I decided to test my dream theory and went back to the store. My heart started beating as I recognized the cars from last night. I went and headed to the door and opened it. It wouldn't budge. I looked down to see if it was locked, and my heart sank. It was Dan, or what was left of him, laying face down with blood all over him. After puking in the parking lot, I took another glance inside the store. The customers that were inside are now skinny, hollow creatures dragging their own skin behind them. I fled out of there real fast and came home. I don't know what to do. What did that milk do to all those people? I'm asking you all, since I think the police would call me crazy. Just don't buy the bill. Someone commented and said, "I go to Save-A-Lot all the time. If this was happening for real, I'd be screwed because I can't afford Kroger or Walmart. Very freaking scary. Someone said light that place on fire. Someone else said this is why I buy almond milk. I'm assuming this is just like a fake story. But a good one. Anyway. Okay, question. This might be a dumb question and probably terrible timing because it's the end of the video. This Reddit thread, the no sleep, are these all fake? Like, okay, obviously this one's fake, the milk one. Was the Tom one fake? The dog one wasn't fake though. I feel like that's a legit thing, right? Like, that seemed like a legit story. Am I dumb? Am I dumb? Guys, okay, I mean, obviously, that would be like a good combo to have like one real one, one possibly a real one, and one very fake one. But like, can someone confirm, like, are these all definitely fake, or like some bitch, that was so bitch, and there was just some noise outside, like, can anyone confirm if these are real or not? Or like, not, I mean, obviously this one's not real, but like, can someone confirm if this is all bullshit and I'm an idiot, or what? Because now I feel stupid. I don't think this video did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to be like creepy, like weird, and I feel like between Jesse and me bitching and the long-winded intro and now me not knowing if what the fuck how Reddit works, guys, I'm sorry. This is very on brand for Pink, so I'm sorry. I blame Jesse. Anyway, I hope whatever you were hoping for with this video, that it was still good. And if not, I'm so sorry. And I hope that at least it was relaxing. How did you feel about the soft spoken with the Blue Yeti? Also, I'm kind of interested to hear that feedback. Yeah, a lot going on here. Anyway, I hope you liked it, regardless. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye guys. Bye guys.